1966 88-inch 2A, 2.25 petrol. Back from complete nut and bolt rebuild. That's had pretty much everything done, almost apart from the differentials. So I just thought I'd give a little walk around, and we will have a look inside. I'll show the interior, the engine bay, etc. But just thought to begin with, we'll just have a look around. It's been repainted in the correct Atlantic green that it would have been in service. It was actually built in Verona green, and then Southern Electricity Board changed their colour scheme when the vehicle would have still been quite new. I've had the ladder rack recreated. It's based off various old photos, largely of 109s, but we know the original vehicle did have these slots, so we know it definitely did have this type of roof rack. It came with the Fairy capstan winch, which has been restored by LR Optional Equipment. I'm still waiting for the drive linkage, but that's a really lovely piece of work. I presume it would have had a winch in service, but not 100% sure. Certainly, it did at some point. There's a few little homages to its later history as well. So, like these flat side lights, I don't know if they would have been there originally, but they were when it came to me. So I figured I'd keep them. They're quite nice. I like them with the little chrome ring round. I think they're quite cool. It's all proper Lucas lights, I think, apart from one of the headlights. And then at the back it's Lucas indicators with YPAC S170 rear lights, which, yeah, it came to me with them. So they were an option at the time. So yeah, I mean, it looks fantastic. It's had complete repaint. Wheels in black, which certainly some SEB Land Rovers anyway of the time did have. So I think it's pretty authentic to how it would have been. But I'll open it up and we'll have a look at some interior details. First of all, starting with the engine bay, which is very authentic, as is the rest of the car. Engine is the original engine, as far as we can establish. It's the original radiator, which was recored and all repainted and reconditioned. It's got the correct bean tin, brake and clutch fluid reservoir. It is the wrong type of, I think it was a clutch slave. No, it might have been the brake master, actually. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. Yeah, the one that we got, which was the correct type, I think it was leaking. So it's got a slightly later type, but I mean, you wouldn't really know. It's got the proper water washer bottle there, the pipes coming up through the bulkhead just below the coil. It's got all the proper open breathers, as would be appropriate for the car, and the wide head radiator, which does get very hot. It's also got the correct lights. These are the late 2A type, which come in from behind, so they're a bit quite rare to get the bits for. Solex carb, which has an electronic preheater, I guess helps starting in really cold weather. The squirters are on the wiper arms as they would have been. The original clips, or the holes, were along here. So you can just see the mounting brackets there. So that was a nice original feature. 4-bolt bonnet as well, so it's a 66. Likewise, it's positive earth electrics. I'd love to find a way if I can charge a mobile phone off of that. Interior, got the door cards. The doors were drilled and they had paint in, so we think it did have door cards from the factory. Unfortunately, the build ticket has long since gone, so we don't know for sure. The interior has the seat boxes in its original paint, as is the gearbox tunnel, because they're not too bad. It's got a little bit of wear, but it's quite nice. And I got a set of original elephant hide cab seats, which are all pretty decent condition. They're not immaculate, but they're quite nice. They've got a little bit of wear. Heater was Recore. That's a Clayton sort of body to it. Fan all works quite well actually, and because this has got all new seals, it actually gets really warm inside. Quite surprising for a Land Rover of this era. In the back, so it's a split rear door, which a lot of SEB vehicles were for some inexplicable reason, because it's a terrible design. These cat flaps are just heavy, awkward, they rust, they're cumbersome, the stay design is rubbish. This, you see that this is repainted. The tailgate isn't original, it came to me with a side opening door, but the tailgate is in the Verona green, as is the interior of the car, which wasn't repainted. I've put bench seats in the back. It did have bench seats when I got it, or the remains of. Whether it had them in service, I don't know. The spare wheel was in there. I've just moved it out of the way just for clarity. It probably will live internally, to be honest. So that's that. And then in here, the bulkhead was fully refurbished, but kept this bit of original sign writing. This would have been max permissible load and then a weight in pounds, which I'll try at some point and get that recreated. But it's got the little heater outlets, and obviously the quadrant type opening levers for the air vents. Body coloured dashboard, as is right for the era. Hand throttle as well down here for use of the winch, so which again leads me to think that's it originally had a winch, but I think that type of winch is a little bit late. Speedometer was fully reconditioned because that was not really doing a great deal. Currently on 54,000 and a bit miles. I imagine it's been around the clock at least once. Everything, all the galv bits re-galvanised, sort of the capping strips and so on. Yeah, so there's a roof rack. And it's lovely, it drives really well. The engine was completely rebuilt. I had new pistons. One had to be overboard and linered, and then they're all 2 plus 30 thou, because it was quite worn. The engine was a bit tired, to say the least. And it's still running a dynamo. It was a Recon dynamo, Recon starter motor. It's all as it would have been. So yeah, so that's it. So look forward to more adventures with Neil, as he's been named. Seems to suit him quite well. I quite like it. I'm going to keep the nickname. Yeah, that's him.